pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, minutes from last month's meeting.
Monday, October 20th, 2025, 7 o'clock p.m. Town Council meeting minutes from Monday, September 29th, 2025, 7 o'clock p.m. Town Council President Andy Swain opened the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Board members in attendance, President Andy Swain, Councilman members Bill Barber, David Johnson, Clerk Treasurer Diana Johnson, Street Commissioner Wally Albright. Town residents in attendance, Sandy Casey, Joe Rope. August 2025 minutes read. President Andy Swain made motion to approve August minutes. Bill Barber and David Johnson second motion. Motion carried in favor of approving August 2025 minutes. August 2025 claim vouchers presented for review of payment. Vouchers 53 through 58 reviewed. President Andy Swain made motion for the above mentioned vouchers for payment. David Johnson, Bill Barber second motion. Motion carried in favor of paying August vouchers. Street Commissioner off Street Creek Drive, Dead Ash Tree, sent quote to the board via email provided by Dash Home Street Care Service. Located off Street Creek Drive on Hamilton Heights site. Andy Swain consulted attorney for the right-of-way, confirming Spring Lake's responsibility. Waiting for a response from attorney. Planning Commission, Byron Holden, not in attendance. BZA, Sandy Casey. Need to find a backup replacement for Sandy in the event she would be absent or unable to make BZA meetings. Spring Lake Men's Club not in attendance. Old business kitchen remodel, Diane to email quote again. Basement updates, Diane to email quote again. Number 3, signage, interest to Spring Lake. David Johnson continues working on signage. 4, new benches and playground equipment table. Number 5, game updates. Andy Swain, none of the updates. Number 6, budget meetings are to be held on October 20th and November 3rd due to error with dates by DLGF represented. Review of budget will take place 10/20/25. New business, Clear Creek Fisheries, 2 years since last stocking of fish. Number 2, lake appearance noted. Aquatic Control has done a good job this year. Look to continue in 2026. Public comments. Joe Rope inquired if board has heard anything about 9 Star and the donated land west of Sugar Creek. Statement, no other business presented to Town Council. Next Town Council meeting scheduled for Monday, November 3rd, 2025, 7 o'clock p.m. With no new business, President Andy Swain motion to adjourn the meeting. Bill Barber second motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried, meeting adjourned. I was working on next month's.
Okay, there's a couple corrections. There's 2 reviews on the bottom of page 1. We strike one of those. Vouchers 53, 58 reviewed. And then take off the second one there. And the street commissioner, the right of way, RIGHT. And then the date, I think, on the next meeting, 10/20. Any other additions, corrections, amendments?
No.
Okay. Make a motion to approve as marked up.
Second.
Okay. Any objection, Bill?
No.
Okay. That's approved. If you can send that, you post it and send it to me, and I can sign it and send it back to you,
Yes.
and I'll post it. If you want to sign first, and I'll sign, and I can post it. Okay, the treasurer's report has a little bit different look to it, and we'll get into that in probably the new business portion of it, but maybe Diana could just use the first page to read through, because it has all the pertinent information in it now. So go ahead.
Okay, general fund, beginning balance is $308,067.70. We received $4,329.85. We dispersed $364.74, leaving an ending balance of $312.33 $42.81. I'm really struggling today. MVH fund, beginning balance, $48,688.71. We received $1,341.36. We dispersed $392.35, leaving an ending amount of $49,637.72. MVH restricted fund, beginning balance is $29,762.49. We received $387.25, but nothing dispersed, leaving an ending balance of $30,149.74. LIT fund, beginning balance was $50,272.78. We received $529.17 with nothing dispersed, leaving the ending balance of $50,801.95. LRS fund, beginning balance is $21,841.58. We received $539.07 dispersed, zero, leaving an ending balance of $22,380.65. Beginning balance for CCI fund is the same with no receivables or disbursements of $5,394.94. CCD fund, beginning and ending balance is the same with no receivables or disbursements of $10,106.67. Business development fund is the same with no receivables or disbursements of $195.86. Rainy day fund, beginning and ending balance is the same with no receivables or disbursements of $71,439.92. CDET, beginning balance is $20,510.13. We received $232.50. We dispersed zero, leaving an ending balance of $20,742.63. American CARES Act, beginning and ending balance the same with no receivables or disbursements of $7,380.42. Community Crossing Grant, beginning and ending balance the same with no receivables or disbursements of $105,202.12, leaving a total of $685,465.43.
Any additions or corrections to the treasurer's report? Motion approved as read.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Bills and communications.
No communications. We have Duke Energy, $135.69, and it was electronically debited. Centerpoint Energy, $19.24, it was electronically debited. Hancock County Treasurer's Office had to write a refund where they overpaid for $392.35. I like it much better when they ask us to refund rather than taking it electronically. Duke Energy, $190.57. It was electronically paid. Electronically paid Centerpoint Energy again, $19.24. That is all that we have.
On the bills, does it show the location of the street lights?
No, it does not. No, but we can tell if we go on to,
The website?
doesn't say how many, doesn't say how many on that.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. I thought the one behind the dam was hit. Did you guys hear that big boom?
The other night? Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know.
Just one thunderclap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was lightning strike.
Yeah. That had to be what it was.
I jumped on top of Annabelle like a freaking grenade. I didn't know what got hit. I know it was right there. We were upstairs. I had no
It sounded
idea.
like it landed like right in the yard.
Yeah. The only guess we get hit, a little plaster comes down.
That's what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
separate. One is for the building and,
One street light,
and the rest of them. Is one street light included?
I think so. Yeah, this is 11 plus 1 plus 3. So there's 11 of one kind, and looks like 4 of another kind.
They probably have not been updated yet to the LED.
And yeah, I'm not sure. So that's 14, 15. One, 80 kilowatt hours. Wow, okay, that's 44 per. So this one that's on here is like double the energy that these other ones are taking.
So we should have them all updated with LED.
I think the one is here in the, it might be that one right there. But, so 14, 15, 16. I'm gonna go through. That's what I'm gonna double check. There you go.
We have like 9.
15, 16. There's a lot more you think. Okay, committee reports. Wally, do you have anything for us?
Just about the tree.
Tree next week?
Yep.
Have you been communicating with that homeowner?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for taking care of that. Took us a little bit of time, but did get some information about right-of-ways and some good information, I think, so.
I'll bring it up in your business.
All right, I don't have anything from, Sandy did email me something, but I didn't see much on it. She emailed me maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't have anything from Byron or anything from Marion, so we'll skip over that. Go to old business. Any updates on old business items?
What exactly, refresh me, do you guys need for the signage? I know we got the sign, the picture, the signs, those need measured and dimensioned, correct? I know Wally has everything that he would need to cut that out.
Is that for here, for just the
It's
building here, or
any-
for all of it?
If that's what he needs, I can measure all those.
I thought maybe the signs that were out by the roads were gonna be maybe made differently than the one for here.
However they turn out, that's fine.
Because we need certain language on those signs.
Okay,
You know, we want to talk about soliciting.
Yeah.
We want to talk about probably that there's I'm not sure if maybe from an insurance standpoint, if it would benefit us to have something on there about the unguarded lake. You know,
Don't we have,
from a liability standpoint.
we already have posts saying that it's unguarded.
It's not the entrance, but yeah, I don't know.
I'd have to take a look at what's at the entrance, but I think we want to probably replicate most of what we have there.
Okay. Unguarded.
Maybe have it be more uniform looking, because it looks like, we had small no soliciting things put on the bottom of those signs. But I think we should,
One big uniform.
yeah, and then, not super large, because you gotta think about the neighbors that have to
Deal
trim
with them.
around them.
Yeah.
But probably try and stay within about the size that we have there.
Okay.
Probably put a different post in the ground and make them look a little nicer.
Do we want to go metal with those posts? Just to match black metal posts to match the other ones? I know that's probably from new business.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a nice touch, I think. And then I think we probably look at maybe something a little fancier for the sign for the
Yeah.
building here.
Just needs measured.
Mhm.
And then sent to Wally, and Wally can,
And I think that needs to be a part of a little bit bigger project with some landscaping and
Yeah.
some lighting and a flagpole, and we need to do that all, I think, at the same time. I think I'd like to
Yeah.
get that taken care of, and probably some landscaping around the building too.
I did have a friend come over the other day, it was Annabelle's best friend. She goes, you guys need to put flowers and bushes around the community building. And I go, okay. So I'm just, somebody that's not from here said that might be advantageous, but
Yeah, we're all about no maintenance.
yeah, no, I
Is what
agree.
we're, that's what we're into.
Yeah, cheaper by the dozen, so I get
Yeah.
it. Need to save money for the dam. I'm good.
Okay. I would like to get, I haven't done anything about playground equipment. I don't know if anyone else has looked into any playground equipment but we need to get rolling on that. It'd be a good time of year to get that at least identified and planned to have it installed for next spring.
I've got some information that was emailed to me in regards to grants too, and I need to dig that back up.
I had nowhere to start to look at like.
I've got a couple of sites. So there's a place up on near south of Noblesville. It's called Recreation Unlimited. I think that's what it's called. And they do commercial playground stuff. And there was one other place that has a lot of packages that a lot of towns have used and parks and stuff like that. So I started looking at that. I think we were,
Keymark working on this parcel out there in Greenfield over a few.
Did I get it? Email?
Yeah, you probably would have, yeah.
Thought about that.
yeah, I did have a conversation with him many months ago about that. I can't remember. It was like, I think he's got access to some catalogs and stuff like that.
What would our budget number be for
That's what I was thinking.
that?
Equipment ain't cheap anymore. Just can't.
Even a cheap playground equipment's not cheap.
Let's see if I can find that.
Well,
Kitchen forward. Yeah.
I wonder if I'm missing I think I'm missing every other page of this. This isn't the one that this is an older one that I scanned. I think I scanned every other page. Apartment, general.
Don't know if I've got it with me.
Street, park, playground maintenance.
Nature trail. That could be important. Yeah, this isn't the most up to date one.
No, I didn't.
But I think when I looked at it and figured out what we could move together to do it, I think it was $15,000 to $18,000 is what we had that we could get our hands around. Okay. Any other old business updates?
So I just sent, the quote from Barry Brown,
Okay.
and there should be a Wadman flooring. I can't find that one. I'll have to look deeper because it's been a minute. And then
So this is for the men's room, men's club room,
the kitchen.
or the kitchen?
And then the basement, what was his name? I used to have it on my phone.
Okay, well, you can send those to us. I know you've probably done it in the past, but. Okay, any new business? Wally, do you have anything for new business?
Yeah, Vince reached out to me last week, wanted to know if we had anything for his guys to do before the end of the season. Clean up. Anything I couldn't think of anything offhand. It's kind of late in the year. But, so I brought it up.
I wonder is he capable of dredging out those silt beds here in the lake? Does he have anything that could do that?
He'd have to rent equipment, but I'm sure he could.
Then we'd have to haul it, we'd have to haul it away somewhere.
He's got a dump.
I mean, it's gonna be muck.
You're gonna have to show me where it is. I know we've had it done before, but you've always taken care of it on there.
Yeah. It's between that culvert right there and there's riprap that's piled up here. It's like a silt bay, but there's the silt, it's doing its job, it's trapping the silt that comes in.
So it's between the culvert and the riprap.
It's between the culvert and it's that little channel right there before it opens up into this little lake right here. So it's that side and then,
How do they normally
The other
access it
mouth.
from the park?
I'm sorry,
How do they normally access it from the park? They use
yeah,
a backhoe,
they use a backhoe or excavator.
excavator.
And then they had a dump truck that they filled up and then he went out and around and then took it away. In one time, we had the farmer across the way that let us put it in his area. But I don't know, it's,
How much is it? Like, I don't care how much, but how much product is removed, I guess?
quite a bit,
Like one
Because-
trash load?
I don't know, maybe 15?
What? Wow.
Because half of what you remove is like water and muck. You know, there's a lot of water that gets taken out.
You don't want to take the riprap though.
No.
Have
The
you actually
riprap
dig
is
down?
down here, and there's riprap right by the culvert, and it's here and in between. So it's just, that silt goes in there, and then the riprap is higher over here,
Yeah, so
and so the silt just kind of builds in. You
so
can
it's
see where,
so it's collecting runoff from that.
Yeah.
field.
and it's the same on the other side. It's like you can see in the middle, it looks like there's
Yeah.
stuff growing up in the middle of the entrance
So both of them?
ditch. Ideally, I don't know how
How do
you
you
get,
get- how do you get to that?
I don't know.
If we had that done,
Long time ago. And I don't know, I think maybe they did that when they dredged the lake.
I
They
was
got
gonna
it
say, you
from the
can't
lake.
get to that without going to somebody's private.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might be just, I don't know if he could do it or not, but it probably needs to be done in the next
I can ask him,
couple years, probably.
when do we normally have it done?
What's that?
Gosh, that would have been good to do that.
We did it like in the fall, like about, it'd be too late to do it now, but maybe in September or something like that was a good time when it was dry.
Yeah, we should have done that a month ago.
Yeah. But I didn't think about it a month ago, Wally.
We've only done that one time since I've been involved.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be done very often.
We haven't had it done since that culvert was replaced.
Right.
What did you call it?
It's a silt trap. SILT.
Track.
Yeah.
I can ask him. He's probably gonna ask where to take it.
Yeah. I know.
Are we getting close to turning off the bubblers?
When it gets a little cooler.
So new business, what are we doing for the hatchery for the fish this year? Are we? Because I think we also need to drain the lake, bring it down for this winter. We're supposed to have a worse winter, plus the freezing and the warming is not going to be good for the concrete anyway.
You know, I got a quote from that place. I can't remember if I forwarded it to you guys or not, but
Clear Creek.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, because it was the same dollar wise. It was exactly the same thing that they did 2 years ago. So
Yeah. I
I don't know. If
I think it was like,
it was like $7,500.
was that how much it was?
Yeah.
I thought it was 5.
No, it's more than that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can put it off a year.
I think so. I mean,
The
the
fish has been good
population
here.
is really good right
Yeah,
now.
I don't think we need to,
I
honestly.
mean, we super stocked it
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Darren, do we keep it or do we move next year? You fish a lot.
Do what?
He's funny.
Do we have more fish this year or do we postpone a year?
Fishing was pretty good this year. It's probably the best it's been in the past 8 years or so. Yeah. I mean, you can add more fish to help it, but you might be overstocking.
I say we wait a year.
Yeah, let's wait. I think we might be just a skosh late too.
Yeah. Well, it was
We did it around this time. last
October.
year.
It was October.
Okay. Well, let's wait.
So does that mean we want to lower the level of the lake before?
We could certainly do that. We could do that anytime.
Okay.
So, and I,
Just a thought, you might wait and do that when we know we're gonna get some rainfall, because what we got the other day wasn't much.
yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for the people to do some, we always say, hey, everybody should do their, the maintenance on the shore maintenance or whatever, but I think only 1 or 2 people do it. But it's, we can certainly do that. It's pretty easy to let it down. So
What does that benefit?
it enables the shore maintenance, makes it easier to get your limbs cut and stuff like that. You can, in some areas, you can get right down on the inside the rim of the lake and trim trees or trim, dig out stuff that might be on the bank or something like that.
The lake really didn't get super low this year, did it?
I think this is the lowest before this rain that came in. It was the lowest it's
It
been.
really wasn't even that low.
No, it was probably like maybe 6 inches of
Yeah,
that.
so my buddy's farm pond down here on the Jacoby Road, it was down, I was over there the other night, we took a tape measure out there, and he's got the high water mark on his dock. And
Yeah.
It's down 4 feet, it's 47 inches there.
Wow.
Really?
He's probably got this much fish.
So I can do that. I can, it's pretty easy to do.
If you want to show me how to do it, I'm more than happy since I'm right over there.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of maintenance you got to do with the screen
Yeah.
to keep it from just gumming up with stuff, and also keep our fish in the lake instead of going down the spillway. But I can show you that piece of cake. I decided to keep that screen on there all year. I used to take it off when we were done lowering it down, but then I decided to keep that screen on there, and I'm surprised nobody's jacked with it. It's still on there. So. Any other new business? So Diana and I, the last few weeks, have been going through the State Board of Accounts financial audit for the town. They audit us for period of January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2024. Diana spent a ton of time on this, and I want to thank her on behalf of the town for all that she did for that. So it was a lot of work, and we had the final review it was in like 3 stages, 3 phases, but it started on October 7th. And so I can read just a quick summary of it. We chose, there was 2 different options we could have taken with the results, and we chose to not make an official response to the report, which kind of means we accept the report instead of writing an official response, because the findings were accurate. They weren't. They didn't cite something that wasn't true or anything like that. So there were three findings. There were 3 repeat findings that they found from the previous financial audit that took place. And so one of them was adoption of a training and certification on internal control standards, which is kind of why a couple of months ago we took that online training for internal control. And we're going to do that annually. It's the best way just to kind of sweep that up and take care of that. And the other one was the annual financial report, beginning and ending balances. And that's one of the I think the opportunities for improvement was to adjust the treasurer's report to more clearly show the beginning balance of all of our funds and the ending balance, and have that kind of concisely on one sheet of paper. So this part down here was adjusted a little bit. The bottom part of this was adjusted a little bit. And then I think just from a summary standpoint, it made sense to put that on here too. And as we were going through it today, I'm going to add another feature on the bottom here that I think will make it better too. So, but anyway, that was the second one. And then the third one was on appropriations. And I think it was last year we had a very small overage on what was the
It was the business.
we spent a little bit too much more than we had budgeted for 2 different sub funds. Like, on our budget we showed
One was MVH,
one was MVH.
and the other was, it was the Spring Lake $195. Look on the sheet. Business development.
Business development. Oh, okay, yeah. So, we show in here on our budget, we say, hey, we're going to spend $750 in office supplies. Well, for example, we might spend $900 in office supplies. And that they had a couple of appropriation sightings where we overspent what we had budgeted. So we had to submit corrective action plans for all 3 of those. The internal control corrective action says that we all completed the online training for internal control standards in August, and for ongoing compliance, the town will be including that training on internal control standards with our annual training for nepotism and conflict of interest that takes place in the first quarter of every year. On the second one, the beginning and ending balances, adjustments have been made to the Spring Lake Treasurer's Report format to include the beginning and ending balances in the account reconciliation section. The thing that was a real tough thing to kind of find out was the town we used to have 5 $10,000 CDs, and we cashed those in 2024 and just put them back in the general fund. They were kind of pulled out of the general fund, sat in the CD account, and then we would take the interest off of them every month and put it in the general fund. But really our ledger our online ledger with the State Board of Accounts didn't appropriately pull that $50,000 out. So when we put that $50,000 back in, it was like, well, where'd this come from? We don't see it coming out and going in and so forth. And so that took a while to fish through, but they weren't accounted for correctly. And so, this was accounted for, it was discovered when the town cashed in the CDs in 2024. And the State Board of Accounts has sent us instructions. If we do want to invest in CDs, then how to account for them in the event that we choose to invest in them again. So, but we will probably never do that. And then the third one was on the appropriations. I'm I'm gonna incorporate a budget tracking sheet within our treasurer's report Excel file. Right now, Diana kind of manually keeps track of that. You know, we say, hey, we're gonna spend, we're gonna approve, $2,000 for signs or something like that. You know, oh, that's fine, Danny. And then Diana goes and puts that into the ledger in the State Board of Accounts, and all of a sudden, we got $1,800 in there. She's like, what are we gonna do, you know? So I think we're gonna put a little more visibility to that for us as council members. So by incorporating the treasurer's report, it'll provide exposure, better visibility to the spending limits for each of those fund categories. And I need to have that done by the end of the first quarter. The other two, we basically said are done. And so we only got feedback on one of those, right? Or did you feedback on the other ones? On the other corrective actions?
All three of them, I guess.
Did they accept?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so that's good.
Yeah.
But,
I just sent you the one. I didn't send all three. So.
okay, that's all right. I figured they would accept them, so.
Yeah, so, well, the final phase to this is that we need to document, like we're doing now, into our minutes to show that we've discussed it and the board has agreed and approved the process and putting it into action. So our minutes have to be reflective of that, and then it has to be submitted for confirmation. That's the final step of it.
So you can document the 3 corrective actions. Does anyone have any questions? It was a little bit, it was painful, time consuming a lot. The auditor he did a super good job, super nice guy.
He was very
You know,
meticulous,
He was very meticulous. And,
really nice.
but he saw some things that we're doing that he said, oh, you know, this is really good. I might share this with some of the other towns.
Right, like best practice stuff.
But anyway, but thank you, Diana, for all your efforts on
Well,
that.
I appreciate your support. It was just a different audit this time around. Last time around, it was kind of blasé, you know, the gentleman was like, email me this, email me that. And then we got a response. There was no communication whatsoever on the phone. It was all through email. So, you know, we made it through that audit perfectly fine. I remember the internal control. I remember seeing that and thinking about that. Never was really given the tools to, like Cody did this time, to kind of tell us where we needed to navigate that. He did a fantastic job. But the big difference on my end that I'm gonna add to this piece is, so when I took over from Vicki, everything was a manual paper ledger. And so it was a book about yay thick, and everything was tabbed. So you had your general ledger, and then you had categories or subcategories within that general ledger that was also tabbed too. So if you made an entry into your general ledger, that general ledger had to be carried over to this subcategory. And that subcategory could be a service, and if that was a service, then you had to deduct it from the service. But then you got to remember that that figure is going to be carried over to the next category, which could be a payroll. And so it was labor intensive on that end, and you had to remember to take it from the budget. And of course, we never could get